Hi. Both of us
Hi.
are keen. Both of us are keen, Mary Jane. You
Sorry?
can start. I said both of us are keen to jump in. You can start.
I was just going to start the recording with saying, hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 4th of June at lunchtime, and this is our occasional free open Q&As with Cass, and I'm going to let Cass introduce while I follow up on the lady who's booked in.
Yeah, hi, everyone. Thanks for jumping on. As Mary Jane said, this is just, we try and run this. Are we doing this fortnightly or monthly at the moment? Fortnightly? Oh, she's muted now. I think we do it fortnightly, or basically
available.
Yeah, whenever I'm available, which I am becoming more available lately, which is good. It is free, and it's just anyone can jump on and ask questions about various financial topics, tax topics, super topics, controversial topics, conspiracy topics, anything you would like to talk about, and we'll answer what we can. If we can't answer, we'll just have a chat about it anyway. So got some good attendees today, which is great. So we don't present anything. We don't have a PowerPoint or anything for you. We simply open to your questions. Sometimes this is short, but most of the time there's enough questions to keep us going for the hour. They are recorded. We put them on our website in case people want to, have got nothing better to do with their lives than watch us talk about financial crap. Okay, so who would like to start?
I have just muted everybody because there's a little bit of feedback. So if you've got a question, just unmute yourself and start talking. If there's more than one question, Alfred's got a bullion question. Do you want to unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask? Is it considered a capital gains event when the gold price, oh, here we go, it's in the chat. When the gold price is lower, hard to buy physical stock in store, but unallocated pool is available. I bought unallocated pool, says that for 4,500 per ounce, redeemed to physical gold when spot price is 5,000 a few months later with a fee of $70 from the Perth Mint, for example. Would this be considered capital gains event since not selling, but difference in the spot price of 500? So, sorry, he bought it in the pool. He went to redeem it. So there's just a market fluctuation, but there was a fee.
Oh, that is a really good question.
So, but you didn't receive any actual money for it. You didn't sell it. As long as it's not sold, but then there's an admin fee of $70, which if it was in your SMSF, you could charge that admin fee to the SMSF for.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I hadn't really considered it because you are selling an asset. It's unallocated, and then okay, so they only charge an admin fee. So that is like it's not a sale. You're just changing it from unallocated to physical. So I think that would be okay. No CGT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, never considered that. Good one.
Got some thinkers on here. So if you, as Alfred did, if you don't want to speak, you can put the question in the chat, and if there's more than one person wanting to ask a question, you can put up your virtual hand. Yeah. Anybody got a question? I know a lot of people do just jump on here to hear what other people are asking, to educate themselves or feel part of a community, which is certainly a lot of people do feel a bit lonely. But some people do have questions. Marie, superannuation question. I have a year to go to turn 60 and am thinking to take it out. Is it worth doing an SMSF?
So firstly, Marie, I'd say, well, why are you going to take it out? Because superannuation is the best environment that you can leave your funds in. So yep, good. Yeah, so it depends what you're planning. If you need to get it out because you want to pay up a mortgage or you need it to live on, absolutely take it out, and then come back to whether it's worth doing an SMSF. Firstly, just about taking it out. If you don't have a need for it, you don't need to take it out, I would suggest leave it in superannuation, therefore do an SMSF. Whether it's worth doing an SMSF for the year to go, that is a tricky question as well, because in some regards we'd say, well, no, because of the setup costs. the complexities, then you're putting it over there, and then you're just going to take it out. So you'd sort of say no, but then the current status of the world, if the world collapses between, or the financial system collapses between now and next year, you'll be kicking yourself if you haven't taken it out and put it in SMSF. So it's probably, if you're happy to discuss personal things on here, Marie, by all means, unmute yourself and give us a bit more information, like how much you've got and why you want to take it out. Otherwise, that might be a one that you might want to book in with Mary Jane to discuss that more specifically, to see whether it's worth you setting it up. If there's a lot of pros and cons. So on the financial system, for people that have been watching me for a while, I've been saying for 3 years that the financial system is about to crash, and sometimes I feel like a broken record. And people have accused me. I was on the Cooker Watch. The Cooker Watch people put me on there and had a clip of me saying the financial system was going to crash 3 years ago, and they're going, "Well, look at her and what she said, and it hasn't happened." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, it hasn't happened, but all the clients that listen to me have put it in gold and silver and made 40 to 50%. So don't think they're too unhappy about it. But the financial crash, if anyone's following that market, to me, it's inevitable. It's just a matter of when. Mary Jane's famous words are that it's described as I thought it was going to be one big crash, like the GFC or when COVID started, 40% on the market in, a matter of days. Mary Jane uses the word controlled demolition. And that certainly does seem to be what is happening. So rather than an immediate crash, it's just getting worse day by day, week by week, month by month. And it seems to be that is happening so that people don't wake up and don't freak out about it. It's a bit like the frog in the boiling water. It doesn't notice it's dying because the water's just slowly getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter, and it's dead. Whereas if it was thrown in boiling water, it'd jump straight back out if it could. Seems like that's what they're doing with the financial system. It's just getting worse day by day, cost of living crisis, everything that's happening. And I did hear, I haven't verified it, but somebody told me yesterday that the Japanese stock market had its biggest fall in history, its biggest one-day fall in history. So I haven't heard about that. People that I follow, Jim Rickards and Robert Kiyosaki, are saying more and more. In fact, they've predicted a new date being the July 15th. So there's a lot happening out there, and this is where Mary Jane and I have been actively working in the self-managed super fund space for the last few years. Mary Jane and I were both very active in some of the movements, particularly the ones in Canberra where Mary Jane is and I was from. We were ahead of some of the big, I don't know what to say on here as in who's watching this, but some of the big rallies and things like that, Mary Jane and I were very heavily involved in. But then we got to a point where we realised, well, what are we doing? Protesting or sitting on the lawns of Parliament House, nobody's listening to it. So let's do something more proactive. And since then, we've been helping people set up self-managed super fund, get their money out of what I call the online superannuation systems, the retail and industry funds. They're basically an online number. Your number's sitting there on a computer screen and you hope for the best. So helping people get that money out of the online systems into a self-managed super fund and into hard physical assets like gold and silver that you can actually physically hold in your hand, bury in your backyard if you wish. You own it, you hold it. So if the financial system crashes, you've still got it. I've got a little silver coin that I just use for my daily motivation sitting right here. Your super can be held in physical assets. People also use it for crypto, if you're into that, and property, and SMSF can buy a property. So there are a lot of other things you can do with an SMSF, and that's what Mary Jane and I have been focusing on for the last 3 years. And we just started. I just sat on a rally one day and sat on the stage, by the way, get your super out before it's too late. And since then we have been frantically busy helping thousands of clients do it. I had no idea so many people would come to us to get it done. So it sort of became a bit of a passion of ours. Started as a hobby, became a passion. And then now we're also, unfortunately, delving into the area of estate planning, so death, because unfortunately that is happening a lot more out there, whether it's you wanting to plan for your own demise or loved ones, families, siblings, parents. Everybody needs estate planning help at the moment to make sure their affairs are in order. So anyway, that's just a bit of a chat because there's a few new people on here that we haven't seen. So just in case you didn't know who we are and what we're doing, that's a little bit of background to us. So,
and there's a couple of questions in the chat, but on that point you just mentioned, Cass, a lot of our like-minded community, estate planning is, it's about making sure yours goes to who you want it to go to, but it's also about making sure the government doesn't get their grubby little hands on it, which is a very, very, there's a lot of strategies they use to get that. But Bron, hang on. So we're just going back here. Oh, yes. So I have put a link in the chat to where you can book in a consult with me if you do want to talk about setting up a new self-managed super fund. Bronwyn is in that stage at the moment. Hi, Bronwyn. The question is, I'm at the stage of preparing to lodge an SMSF order form, and we have been in touch. The question of being known by another name, you have a marriage and divorce certificates that you can email. Sorry, they do need to be certified. And the reason for that is if the bank asks for them to verify your ID, you can wait until that stage. And if they ask for it, then you can go and get it. But we might like to make sure that there's no delay in the setup process. So it's much better if you're going to get your primary ID, get everything certified at the same time. You were asked, we always ask our clients to call the ATO and your outgoing self-managed, outgoing super fund and ask a series of dot point questions that we have listed on page 9 of our frequently asked questions. And again, those questions are designed to uncover any potential delays. Your question, Bronwyn, about the 60 years compulsory preservation age limit, no, that's no problem at all. It is fairly standard. There's nothing else that you need to do. Those questions are designed to uncover, let's say your names are not correct. Often they're missing a middle name and it doesn't match with the ATO name, which will cause a delay. Sometimes they've just got things straight out wrong, like your date of birth or your address or something. So fix those. Sometimes you will discover that there is some condition, not just even a defined benefit, but some condition that's in yours, which is unique, 1 in 1,000, that will prevent you from rolling into an SMSF. So the answer to your question about the compulsory preservation age is fine, as long as you said, ask them that question, is there any condition that would not enable me to roll into a self-managed super fund? And they say no, then that's fine.
Next question is Valerie. Valerie says she saw me in Ulladulla. Yes, that was one of my very first presentations on the financial system collapse. I used to live in Ulladulla for about 3 or 4 years, loved it. So that's why I went back there and did a presentation. But Valerie asked, can you put your SMSF into another trust to control it? No. SMSFs are a very specific type of trust and they have to be managed in accordance with all of the SMSF laws. There is a way of investing your SMSF into a unit trust to buy properties. That's quite a complex strategy, but that is possible. So I guess the answer to the question is yes, but it's quite complicated and we'd need to look into it a lot further.
But the one you might want to think about is the SMSF will, which then puts it into a testamentary trust. So have you got anything to say?
Yeah, I think Valerie's more talking about controlling it now while you're still alive. Okay, Eliza, about needing to put SMSF into a trust. Okay, I like this question because, and I had someone yesterday bantering with me on Messenger saying, why hasn't FFS got something out to us about the new tax that the government are trying to introduce? And I said, well, that's exactly why they're trying to introduce it. It's not yet introduced. The Liberals and even the Greens now are starting to stand up against it. So why are we wasting our time talking about something that hasn't even happened yet? Last time they tried to get it through, it got knocked down. So why they think they can get elected with a minority and then get it through is beyond me. And then my second point to the client was I haven't got anything out to our clients about it because we don't have any clients that have $3 million in super. So people are worrying about something that really just hasn't happened yet. If you've got $3 million in super, bloody good on you. And yeah, you might have to pay some tax if they get this through. And like with any taxes they get through, we have another specialist on our team, Grant Abbott, who is an absolute guru in these sort of things. He's already designing strategies to overcome that tax. And it's not going to be until 2026 if it gets through. So let's worry about it then.
And the point is, if you do have $3 million, because we don't know, some of you on our call may hear, then get in touch directly, because Grant has definitely got some strategies in the pipeline. But it's not really something that, you know, the strategies to set up themselves will cost you several $1,000s to set up. Yeah, so there's, but if you've got it, come and talk to us about it, no problem at all. Now, is that down? That was Eliza's. And now this is Richard. Oh, yes. Trisha's got a hand up. I'll just read this last question on the. Oh, no. Trisha, do you want to unmute yourself and ask? You can do that now.
I just can't see any chat. I don't know, and I can't even see the raise your hand button. I'm on Teams Classic and I can't see any of it.
Up the top bar, along the top bar, there's icons.
No, there isn't. I've seen them previously, but I haven't got it today. It just says recording and transcription. For now, meeting transcripts are only available to select.
We'll read the questions out in the chat, and just as you did before, just wave at us if you want to say something.
I'll mute myself.
Okay.
So Richard's asking. He's saying, I've been trying to deal with ASIC this week to change my address details, and they have not heard a word I have said and not sent me a thing I have requested. I am meant to have some corporate key, whatever that is. I cannot locate it or find any correspondence from them previously. I need some assistance with the ASIC, and SMSF has shares China Magnesium Corporation that no longer exists. So Richard, I'm just going to double check. You are one of our clients, are you? I am assuming you are. No, I can't see you in our system. So we do act on behalf of men and women to be their ASIC agent. It's $300 plus GST a year. It is deductible from your SMSF or whatever it is that you company, if you're doing it for company. So we can certainly assist with you. I'm just double checking that you're not a client. If you are, let me know.
Yeah, that ASIC is the worst agency of all. Like, if you think tax office is bad or Centrelink is bad, ASIC's another world altogether, which is why most people just pay us that $300 a year fee. So we can change an address online instantly with our system.
I've got to set that up because I bought 15 grand of these shares because I was supposed to be the hot thing, told to put them in a self-managed super fund, did that. Then I think the owners of the CEOs of the owners of the company did all the books and then had a heap of money, then shut the company down. So that 15 grand was just washed away. But then I have never done anything to have that self-managed super fund assessed or whatever you're supposed to do each year. And that's back from 2015. So it's just dead in the water. And I've been paying ASIC that, $65 a year. And I've got late fees sitting there. But I've had no correspondence.
Is that all you put into it, Richard? Just the 15,000 and then that's gone? Have you got anything else in the SMSF?
No, I've got no super, nothing building at all.
Have you got other superannuation in other accounts that you might want to roll over?
No, I haven't.
So you really just need to close that down.
Yeah, right. But like I need to, I'll jump on board with you guys and do the 330 whatever it is, and let you deal with that because I've had nothing but nightmares trying to deal with ASIC, and I was trying to get those fees waived too because I've had no correspondence from them at all. They've been sending it to an old address that no longer exists and accountants that I have not dealt with for a decade, and I haven't been able to change any of these details with ASIC.
Yeah, and the fees are exorbitant, and that's another reason clients just pay us to look after it, because there's just like the fees. If you're late just by a couple of days, there's a fee. Then if you're late by 30 days, there's another fee, and then fee and fee and fee. And in my experience, I don't know if Mary Jane's had any success since she's been in this area, but in my experience of the last 20 years, ASIC will never remit a fee.
Alrighty, because they
had to close that company down and walk away. So that's probably, you can book online. Mary Jo might pop the link in there for you to make a booking. You can book with me about that. And I can have a look on ASIC and tell you, you know, what to do. We can, whether to just walk away from the company or whether to pay the bill and shut it down.
Because I wasn't quite sure. There's ASICs on paying a fee, but then I don't know that company, that trust I set up for that self-managed super fund still exists. I have no idea what exists and what doesn't exist. And I know that ASIC basically date rate me each year. So
yep. And they will keep doing that until you do something about it. So book in with me and we'll get it.
If it doesn't have the corporate key or any information, I mean, I'm assuming you've got the company name and the ACN. Can you just shut it down, or do you need the corporate key?
Yeah. No, I'll be able to add it to ASIC on our portal and shut it down. And then for the SMSF, like most accountants will tell you that you're going to have to catch up all the past years, and that, you know, we can't do an SMSF return for less than, say, $2,000 a year, even if you've got nothing in it, because we've still got to do all this paperwork. So once again, if you book in with me, I'll have a look at it and common sense advice, tell you how to wrap it up, walk away from it or something like that, because, yeah.
So I put the booking link in the chat. Valerie, also, you can see just above your question, there is a link to book in with Cass. The best one is if it's about trust or advanced tax, that's the one to book in under, is it, Cass?
Yeah.
If it's about estate planning specifically, Valerie, because I do know you are in the process of doing some of that, then you can book in under the estate planning. So just select which one suits you. So
okay, so we've got a question from Elisa, but just because I spoke about this $3 million topic, Valerie has said, well, that does affect her because she does have over 3 million. And I'm not saying the 3 million is irrelevant to us all at the moment, because even if they get the law through, it will be hopefully relevant to everybody. Because once you put the money in gold and silver and the financial system collapses and the gold and silver goes skyrocketing, all of a sudden we all may have 3 million in super, which will be lovely. But yeah, as I said, the law is not through yet. So let's see if it gets through. And then if it does, we do have people strategizing already around how to get around it. So Valerie's saying she's got over 3 million in SMSF and gold and silver. Your super fund, property is 2.5 and the gold and silver, so it adds up to more than 3 million. So Valerie, watch this space, because the reason we haven't communicated it yet, because there's no point until we know that it gets through, firstly, and then secondly, in what form it gets through, because the Liberals and the Greens are now starting to try and manipulate it and make some exemptions and exceptions and rules. Once we know what the actual legislation is, if it gets through, then we will put it out in our newsletters and invite people to book in for a consult to see what you need to do about it. It's not going to be, I think the earliest date it's going to be implemented is 2026. Probably get pushed back even after that. So we have plenty of time to plan for that if it gets through. Okay, Mary Jane, Eliza's got a question there that maybe you want to take.
Yeah. So Valerie was just saying the link didn't work. So if that link doesn't work, I mean, it did for me, so I don't know why it's not working. Just go onto our website. I put our website information in the chat. Click on the book appointment and you can find the link there, booking thing there. Now, Eliza, here we go. I have an SMSF with us. I have not heard from Peter's team re-documents. The lodgement date is November 2025 from memory. Does this mean I'll be contacted closer to that time? Haven't received anything since you signed the document in early January. Yes, so there is a lot going. So Eliza, there is a lot that goes on in the background, and we always say we do 97% of the work and you guys only need to do 3%, which means actually doing nothing is great. If you are sort of wondering, oh, what's going on, you can book in a time with Peter or just send her an email and ask her. Peter and her team will absolutely reach out when they do need things. They're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. There's a lot going on in the background. So again, if you want to book in with Peter, and what I'll do is I'll just show everybody, I'll just share my screen to show everybody what it looks like. So on our website, so you find our website, freedomffss.com.au. Book appointment. Click on that. It'll bring up this. If you want to ask Peter, any contributions questions, pension questions, just questions about your SMSF. If you're a current client, you just click SMSF Tax Consult for current clients. You select Peter, and then you select a time which suits you, fill in your details and book it. And the trick is sometimes people don't click on a time. If there's only one time showing, they think, oh, well, it's there and that's showing it. No, you actually have to click on it, click on the person, click on the date, fill in the details and book it. If you have any problems with that, you can email me and I'll try and help you, or just email inquiries@freedomffs.com.au, which is Peter's team, support team.
And Mary, if you could just show which appointments, if someone wants to book in with me. Yep. Richard's having a look at that.
No worries. So what we've got here, meet and greet all services. This is with Cass. That's if you've got a combination of things that you want to talk about, or you're a new client. The $220 will give you good information. If you do then come on board as a client, if you're not a client, then the $220 is, depending on the level of advice that's been given in the meeting, is usually credited towards your ongoing accounting. And we say that we get a lot of tire kickers. And what that means is they come on board, book an appointment, a free appointment, and then try and get actual legal advice or technical advice for no money. And that exposes us to all sorts of things because you're not a client. And so basically Cass won't be giving you any advice if it's a free appointment. But if you come on board, then that's no problem. Sorry, but it's a highly regulated industry. Wills and estate planning is a free appointment with Cass. And you just go down there, click on Cass's name, you find the date that she's available. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, there's a lot of availability there. You can book in with me. That will be a very introductory meeting, which is designed to work out what your level of needs are, and then it'll go on to either Cass or Grant. And the last appointment that Cass is available for is Trust Business Setup and Advanced Tax Planning. And this is for exactly what it says. Again, go down, click on Cass and pick a time that suits you. I always recommend that before you have an appointment with Cass, you give me or Cass directly as much information about your question as possible. If it is about estate planning, contact me and I'll send you a form that you can fill out, because we want to make sure that the time spent in the consult is spent really well. Okay, Cass, anything else?
I just want to say on that, just for the sake, given that we've got a good crowd here today and we've got it going on the video, some people have questioned me, $220 for 15 minutes, that's a bit steep, isn't it? Not really. When you think about what you pay your doctor for 5 to 10 minutes when you see them, I have been in this industry for 30 years, and not just across tax, but also across superannuation, mortgage broking, property, financial planning, shares, investment advice, business strategies. Like, there's not too many questions that I can't answer off the top of my head. So you might think, well, that's quick and easy advice. Why am I paying so much? Well, you're paying so much because I spent 16 years at university, a few $100,000 in university fees, and the costs of running businesses and licenses and insurances and everything that then enables me to answer your question in 15 minutes. So just to clarify that. And, someone asked me once, why should I have to pay you that much? I said, don't. I'll go to the beach. I live in Queensland now. I'm looking out my window. It's beautiful out there today. I would much prefer to be at the beach. So if I'm going to have to sit at my desk and get my brain to work and think about these technical concepts, well, I'm going to charge for it.
Well, and Cass has tried to retire many times and I've dragged her back. So we're very happy. Bronwyn is asking if she wishes to buy or trade in Bitcoin as part of the SMSF. Can she confirm that she should open a new non-Macquarie bank and CoinSpot Bitcoin accounts in the SMSF name? So there's a couple of questions there. One is, whatever you want to invest in from the SMSF money, it has to be in the name of the SMSF. So yes, opening your trading platform, if it's CoinSpot or Ainsley Crypto or wherever it is, it's got to be in that name of the SMSF. regarding the bank account, this time last year, I bought Bitcoin, I won't say a tiny Satoshi of a Bitcoin from my Macquarie Bank, paid for it to Ainsley Crypto out of my Macquarie Bank account, no problems. In November last year, Macquarie put a block on all the BSBs relating to the crypto trading platforms, and it hasn't been lifted yet. Macquarie representatives were in our office a few months ago, and they said it seemed they were going to be moving on that sometime soon. When, I don't know. Could be tomorrow, could be next year. So at the moment, if you want to invest from your SMSF into crypto, yes, you will need to open a crypto-friendly bank account in the name of your SMSF. In terms of the setup process, what we still recommend is that if you want to get your rollover done as quickly as possible, just let us set up the first bank account in Macquarie, because that means you won't have to fill out any paperwork. You won't have to chase and worry about this, that, and the other. We can do that. Once you've done everything you need to do in the setup process and you're just waiting for the money to come across into the Macquarie one we've set up for you, then you can go off, your brain's a bit freer, set up another bank account just for the crypto portion if you want, or you set it up and roll the whole amount, transfer it all across from Macquarie into that account. Of course, you can set it up from the beginning and not make us do the Macquarie one. That's absolutely fine, but you'll need to liaise with the bank on the paperwork. We do have some articles on our website about that too. Just looking down, I followed the link. What session am I to book in with Cass? Yes. Okay, more flow charts on the process. So Eliza, which Eliza you're talking about? The SMSF setup flow chart?
No, I think Eliza's question was in relation to Peter, what to do. She doesn't need to lodge until late to 2025.
Oh, okay, well, I'll just go back here on our website. If you go to and we actually send all our clients this information as well, but it's so much, I get it, it's easy to miss. Services SMSF setup. If you go here to the frequently asked questions, now there's a lot of frequently asked questions. Oh, where are we? And there is a little table of contents. So ongoing management and annual returns is on page 26. If you go down to page 26, there's quite a bit of information here, including the tax deadlines. No one's contacted me yet. What do I do? Nothing. In the meantime, here's some things you can be doing. Getting this material prepared for your gold, silver, property, crypto, shares, managed funds, and that sort of thing. So start having a look there. Obviously, you're saying November 25, so this is from the previous financial year. Again, have a look there, and if you want to know exactly where you're up to, then just book in a time with Peter or email and she can get back to you. Yeah, I take it absolutely on board. We're always updating these frequently asked questions. So a flow chart on the process, I'll add that to the list.
That's why there's 29 pages, because we always update them. So, and we have a lot of information available in different formats. So that's Mary Jane's wonderful Q&A document. We also do a lot of videos, quick videos, long videos. They're all available for people to have a look at. So, and just another one on when you become a client with Peter's team, that's the ongoing accounting team. When you first become a client, I can understand you're a bit lost. You don't know who to speak to. Once Peter's team has a look at your fund, you then do get allocated to an accountant. So you will then have a point of contact going forward. So in future, you'll know exactly who to contact and you can email, call, whatever you like. It's just in the initial phase before you get allocated that you might feel a bit lost. But don't worry, Peter's team has amazing systems. You won't be forgotten about. You will be popping up on their lodgement deadline lists, and accountants will pick it up and do the work when the time comes. Okay, just having a look if there's any more questions. Richard, did you get that appointment sorted?
Yeah, Richard, she does have availability on the 10th and 11th of June. If you just see there, it's well, I can't show, I'm not showing to you, but there is availability on the 10th and the 11th of June. After that, I think Cass is traveling a little bit, so you've got to update your diary.
Yeah, I am going to Bali for 6 weeks. So at the moment, my calendar is blocked out after the 11th. Once I'm in Bali and I work out time zones and, you know, what days I'm going to be available, I will unblock my calendar. But for now, if you want to talk to me, you've got 10th and the 11th to do so. And there is a lot of spots there, so jump in.
Bronwyn, you're welcome for all the resources. It's, you know, we build it up over time. So feel free, like Eliza was just saying about the process timeline. Yeah, thank you. All those suggestions, we always take them on board. Bronwyn is saying, one more thinking ahead, re-property land. Who makes the repayments, us or the SMSF, or either? If us, do the repayments count as super contributions?
So I'm presuming you mean if you have bought a property in the SMSF. So yes, the SMSF makes the repayments, but you physically have to do that. You and the SMSF are very intertwined, basically. So you would hop onto the Macquarie Banking and set up a direct payment to make those payments. I think that's what you're talking about. If not, just let me know and you can clarify. But do they count as contributions? No. The money will already be in the SMSF and then you're just paying the loan repayment. If you made a loan repayment out of your own money, yes, that would be a contribution, but that would get really messy. Don't do that. Just use the lump sum money in the SMSF to be making those payments.
So if you, for example, were expecting that the rental income would come in and cover the loan repayments, and then for some unexpected reason there was not enough money in the bank because of the rent wasn't coming in and you needed to pay the loan repayments out of the SMSF, that would be the situation where you might make a personal contribution into the SMSF to cover the loan repayment.
Thank you. I think that answers it. So the purchase and the maintenance of the property all happens from within the SMSF fund.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
And that just makes our the accounting really easy because all the transactions are coming out of the fund and the accountants will just pick it up as costs and expenses of the property.
Thank you.
And okay, Bronwyn's. Anyone else got any more questions? If not,
so in terms of how often we do these at least, if we can, every 2 weeks, but Cass's schedule often doesn't allow that. So at least once a month is what I'm aiming. The next one we've got scheduled is 4th of August. And I'll just show you where you can always find these events on our website. Here up in the events, whoops, there we go, the events banner. So I have, 6th of August, there you go. Wednesday the 6th of August at lunch is the next one because Cass is away. But we have other events. If you're up near Jimboomba in Queensland, I'll be up there 13th of June. And Ainsley Bullion always invites us to their quarterly either bullion and banter or crypto and banter. And they're really, really interesting. And we're working on a couple of new sort of chit-chat interview style events with Grant Abbott and others, including to talk about estate planning tools, the importance of having things, not having things, even the Advanced Healthcare Directive, because there's a lot of movement in this space from the government's point of view. They're basically trying to do everything they can to make sure no one can pass anything on. So we're there in your corner to make sure that at least, even if you don't act on them immediately, at least you've got that in your head. There are some strategies I can take advantage of. So anyway, these are always the events here. And I do just want to show you, there's news and events. On the news and events, we publish quite a lot of information. Estate planning, SMSFs, there's a little SMSF must-read section, some announcements and when our events are going on. And just recently, we've just published this cute little brochure. You can click on that and have a look through the little brochure in case you want. People say, well, who are they and what do they do? Well, there you go. That's us.
Richard's still saying that can't complete the booking.
I don't have an answer for you, Richard. Sometimes different devices do have different issues going on, but if you want to email me your email address, so this is my email address, freedomfs.com.au. If you email your email and your phone number, then I'll be able to book it in, and just tell me what time and date you want and I'll book it in for you. Marie's asked, do you help with general wealth creation strategy irrespective of self-managed super funds?
Yes, absolutely. So my background is in accounting and tax, and as I said, also mortgages, finances, properties, financial planning, etc. So Mary Jane runs the SMSF setup division. Peter runs the SMSF accounting division, and then I cross all other fields. So you can certainly talk to me about any wealth issue you have. Wealth protection is one of my favourite topics, because I don't see the point in working so hard to build up a whole lot of wealth just to then lose it because you haven't protected it properly. So asset protection, obviously some people say, well, what does that mean? Insurances, wealth protection strategies like wills and estate planning so that it goes to the right people when you die. Also things like enduring power of attorney. So if you don't die, but you're incapacitated, we have a strategy there that your people can take over and manage your affairs. There's a lot to it. We're just recording a couple of videos. I've already done one today. I'll be doing another 2 this afternoon, which will go up on our website for people to watch and have a bit of a look at. And then once again, there's that free appointment to book in with me about wealth protection strategies.
So, Kath, can I ask a question that's come off that? Because Marie's asking about general wealth creation strategy. So you were a financial planner,
Yes.
and you're not anymore. And financial planners are the ones also that do this, and you need a special license and all that. So how is it that you might differ from what you used to do?
Yeah, okay. So I was a financial planner for 20 years, but I actually never did financial planning, because a lot of people don't realise that financial planners, and I'll be a bit controversial here on this, hope there's no financial planners watching, the acronym FP, financial planner, I actually used to always say flogging product, because financial planners, they don't financially plan your life. They sell you insurance and superannuation products and shares and managed funds. They sell you things they get commission on. So I used to be a financial planner just so that I could talk about some topics that you need a license for, but I was never selling the financial products that financial planners do. So when it comes, so I gave up that license. Basically, I had it all the way up until COVID, and then particularly when COVID hit and the share market crashed by 40%, I just went, I'm never, ever going to recommend any of my clients invest in the share market. Therefore, I'm going to get rid of this financial planning license. I don't want it anymore. So when it comes to wealth protection and we're talking about wills and estate planning, I don't need a financial planner's license for that. I don't sell insurance anymore. I will talk to you about insurance and tell you you need it, and then refer you to someone else who can set that up for you. So that's how we do that. I actually found the financial planner's license quite restrictive, because it meant there was a whole lot of things I couldn't talk about if I had that license. So I can speak more freely, not being a licensed financial planner.
And you don't need you are a registered real estate agent. You've got decades of experience in real estate, so that's one very strong vehicle.
Still a registered real estate agent, still a licensed tax agent, still a licensed professional practicing accountant, still a justice of peace, still a mortgage broker, I believe. I haven't really updated much lately, but I don't think that's dropped off. But more importantly, as I say to everybody, it's 30 years experience and education, regardless of what license and ticket I'm carrying. I'm always very careful, because we do have ASIC watching us, and we do have spies watching us, and we have all sorts of things like that to make sure that I don't say the wrong thing. And after 30 years experience, I know what I can and can't say with the licenses. So every time anyone says they're going to report me to ASIC, I say, yeah, bring it on, because I know that I don't cross the line and give unlicensed advice.
And gold and silver, do you need a license to talk about that?
No, and that's another interesting one. Like, I can give my opinion on gold and silver, and I just qualify it as my opinion. There is no license to advise on gold and silver. There's no one that can do it. But when you go to Ainsley Bullion and people like that, they have to be really careful, because obviously they're sitting there in their professional capacity selling you the gold and silver. So they have to be really careful that they don't advise you. But when it comes to me, I can't advise you, but I can tell you what my thoughts are, and you can take it or leave it.
And as we always say in our new company brochure, we do what we say, or what we support others to do. So we're not just telling you do this and we're doing something different. Everything that we're telling or supporting our clients and facilitating them to do, we've actually done and continue to do ourselves. And that's why I personally know a lot of mistakes because I've made them myself. So I know all the little tips and tricks.
Yeah.
So Ellen, that's great. Thanks. Bye. There's no other questions. We can take an early mark.
Take an early mark. That's great. All right. So yeah, join us next time when you see that we're on, and then yeah, contact us in any other way. We'll help you out.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, everyone. See you soon.
Bye. Bye.